candidates of the people that we hope are going to be picked by the people. With that said, I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Dan Maes, candidate for governor.
Good evening, how's everybody? Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. What a sacrifice that you're making tonight. I have to apologize. I'm not a lawyer. Is that okay? I'm not a career politician. Is that okay? You know, Bill Ritter took all the fun out of this thing. Because normally, before he said he was going to quit, I'd ask you, are you tired of a governor who keeps ignoring our state constitution? And you would say, yeah! And I'd say, are you tired of a governor who keeps raising your taxes and fees? And you would say, yes! And then I'd ask you, are you ready for Bill Ritter to go home? And you would say, yes! But he took all the fun out of it because he's sending himself home. I've been trying to rewrite my speech for 2 weeks now and I haven't figured it out. My name is Dan Maes. I'm running for governor, and I am honored to be here. And Shelley, I'm honored by the work you do and how we met the first time at a tea party down in Denver. I've been to about 8 tea parties, and I think your actions have to match your words. Wouldn't that be different for politics? Yes. I stood in the rain in Greeley one day. It was a cold day. The wind was blowing sideways. The rain was blowing sideways with it. 200 people stood out in that cold weather for 2 hours. And the turf was soaked in about 2 inches of water, and not one of those patriots went home. That's what's going to change this country. You're going to change this country. Now, a lot of you are still saying, who's this Dan Maes guy? That's okay. I've been married to my beautiful wife, Karen, of almost 20 years. She's at home with our 2 little ones, a 14-year-old, she's a freshman in high school, a 7-year-old who's in 1st grade, and my 23-year-old daughter, who's also my assistant, is here tonight. Her name is Jordan. We didn't want to put them too close together, mind you. I'm a conservative and I'm a Republican, and these days that doesn't mean the same thing, does it? No. But you get both when you deal with me. I'm a man of faith, and I'm not bashful to defend my faith. I'm not... I will not cede 1 more inch of ground to the liberal left agenda when it comes to the sanctity of life at the front end of life and the back end of life. I will stand by the sanctity of marriage between a man and a woman. We don't need excuses to have guns in our home. It's called the Second Amendment. Why do I want to be your next governor, and why should you make me one? I'm a business person. I've never run for office before. I've never held office, obviously, if I've never run before. Anybody remember Governor John Love? Yes. Governor John Love never held an elected office before he became governor of Colorado. Did you know that? There was a guy in California in the late 60s that ran for governor. You remember him? Yeah. Never held office before he ran for governor of California, and that man was Ronald Reagan. Yeah. Don't tell me this can't be done. I've signed both sides of a paycheck since I was 26 years old. I've given bonus checks during good times, but I've also had to send people home during bad times. That's what executives do when they're in charge. They make tough decisions. I ask you, go back to that civics class, folks. Is the governor's office a legislative office? No. Is it a judicial office? No. What is it? It's an executive office, so it's about time we put an executive in the governor's office who's willing to do the right thing for our state, and that's what I represent. I have to congratulate my colleagues. They took half of my speech as well. Alex, good job. Good message. JJ, good job. It's about the economy. You heard me say that I'll stand firm on those social issues, But those are not the issues of our day right now. The issues of our day are the economy and jobs. But government doesn't create jobs, does it?
No.
Did Barack Obama create any jobs? No. Did Bill Ritter add more jobs than he lost? No. Our job, my job as an executive, and the Assembly's job, as Alex said, is to create an environment where jobs flourish. And that means cutting taxes and cutting the size of our government. I have an opponent that'll give you some nice warm fuzzies when he says it's about jobs, jobs, jobs. Even Mayor Hickenlooper is saying it's about jobs and that he's created jobs. Well, government doesn't create jobs. The free market system creates jobs, and what we do is we create that environment for the free market to thrive. Now, in our state, economy equals one word in my mind: energy. Bill Ritter has systematically destroyed the energy industry in this state on the western slope and on the eastern plains. And one of the first things I'll do when I get in the governor's office, it will take some pink slips down to the COGCC and say, Mr. Environmentalist, you can go home. Mr. Environmentalist, you can go home. Mr. Environmentalist, you can go home. We'll bring some reason to the COGCC. We will thrive in the natural gas industry. We will bring jobs back to our state. We will mine uranium. We will mine oil shale. We will mine anything that gives us cheap energy and clean energy. Are you sick and tired of the word green? I'm sick and tired of it. I want clean energy in our state, and whatever it takes and whatever is profitable and whatever we don't have to subsidize with your tax dollars is the energy we will make in this state. Alex said this well too. We should be the envy of this nation. We should be setting the pace in energy. We should be setting the pace in aerospace. We should be setting the pace in new energy if it's profitable. That's how I lead things. In business, I grew 2 successful companies. I turned 2 failing operations around. I can turn around the failed operations of this state. Yes. Now, there's probably a few out there still making your mind up about who the right guy to be a Republican governor is. That's your privilege and your duty to evaluate and learn about. But I will tell you, in the University of Wisconsin-Madison, I played 1 year of Big Ten football. I was the practice squad fullback. You know what that means? Ouch. Yeah, ouch. I was the 1 week I ran Iowa's plays against our varsity defense. And then the next week I ran Northwestern's plays against our varsity defense. I did that for about 10 weeks. I don't care how big they are. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care what name they carry. I will take on the biggest man in this contest, and we will knock them down. And I say we. You will do it, and you will help me, and I thank you for that. Someone tried to tell you about 2 months ago that you didn't have a choice in this Republican primary. What do you have to say to them? I love it. You've got a choice, folks, and the voices are ringing loud. The endorsements are coming in. I signed the 9/12 pledge. I went through the iCaucus process, and I am very proud to say that last Saturday, iCaucus endorsed me as the candidate for governor in Colorado. Yeah! I think I'm about done. Give me 3 minutes. I'll take one more. Folks, I want to stand up for you. I've put 45,000 miles on my car in the last 10 months. This is about my 8th trip to Pueblo. I've gone to the Republican Party. They know who I am. They respect me. I think you are getting to know me and respect me. There is only one candidate in this governor's race who can unify the Republican institution with the conservative revolution, and that's me, because I show up and I care, and until my competitor starts showing up, he ought to think about going home. Yes. My name is Dan Maes, and I am your next governor.
Great job, Dan.